Don't forget you can click on my Creator Corner link in the description every single day to earn free THC.
And we're live. Okay, welcome everyone to another Emergent Gaming AMA. Today, we're talking all things Thetan Arena. I have one of the incredible co-founders, Atomic, content creator focused on Thetan Arena. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
What's up? What's up? I'm very good. And then also I have Michael here as well, one of our super Thetan Arena experts, one of the community members here at Emergent as well. How are you, mate?
All good, man.
Very good. No, thank you both for being here as well. This is going to go out on Atomic's YouTube later in the week. And so welcome all the Atomic fans. Atomic has obviously been talking all about Emergent in his YouTube videos. EmergentDAO is what we're creating to be one of the largest NFT gaming investors and players communities. We have conversations like this all the time in our Discord. Make sure to check out our Twitter at EmergentDAO. Now, before I kick off, Thetan Arena, one of the most popular games nowadays, gents. How about we start off with an introduction and your background, how you got into player and gaming, and how you found Thetan Arena, and then we'll go from there. Atomic, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been a YouTuber now for about four or 5 years, doing a whole bunch of different mobile games, starting in games like Clash Royale, and then I moved over a little bit and started playing some Fortnite and then Arena of Valor. But one of my favorite genres of games has always been MOBAs. MOBAs are amazing. I just love the different characters, different aspects, interactions, and how every game always feels completely different. And after graduating from college, I wanted to start learning more about investing and how to invest, whether it was general stuff or in crypto. And then one of my viewers actually told me that you can continue being a YouTuber and cover games by moving into this thing called like play to earn games or crypto games. And I was really curious about the whole thing. And then he told me, you're playing all these MOBAs, check out Thetan Arena. So then I went to go have a look and I was like, wow, this is actually a very, very well done game. So I feel like I was lucky as far as getting into a very well done game early on. And I was really happy with the game in and of itself. And then I can continue to create content and do what I love doing, and then also invest and then grow with everybody around me. So it's been a very good experience so far, and I've been learning so much in the last few months, and I'm very excited. Feel like we're super early to NFT games in general, so I'm excited to see what the space has to offer as time goes on.
Oh yeah. And Atomic, you're also pretty good at the game. How do you rank nowadays?
A little bit, a little decent.
He's all right.
I'm currently sitting, I believe, top 5 in the United States, and it should be like top 50 or 60 in the global leaderboard. So I spent the whole first season just grinding it out. I wanted to, for sure. I was like, this is early on. Let's see if we can, assert our dominance, get to the top of the leaderboard, and see what the skills bring to the table in this space. So it's been a lot of fun. I think the game is very competitive, and I think we're very close to seeing something amazing here in the gaming space.
That's awesome. Michael, how about yourself, mate?
Yeah. So my background is not into content creating and YouTube gaming. This is actually the first game I've been playing like a bit seriously and getting into. Like I've been playing Call of Duty and FIFA and games like that for the last 15 years. So I've always been into gaming, but still, like when you have these industries converging, finance, investing, crypto, and also gaming, it's much more interesting for me to delve a bit more deeper into the aspects of it, because you need to have an understanding of all of these aspects to do really well in the space. It's not only like being a good gamer, you also have to understand like investing, understand the basics of crypto. So I think that I have a lot of things to contribute to like the community that is maybe made up of a lot of gamers, maybe some crypto enthusiasts, but it's a lot of speculation in this industry. So like going a bit more into the details, avoiding bad decisions and limiting the downside when investing is really good and important for people to understand. So that's mainly what I've been focusing on in this game as well.
And how do you both feel about Thetan Arena in the broader NFT gaming market? I know, Atomic, you were talking about MOBAs as a big category over here. How does Thetan Arena kind of stack up against the rest of the market?
I think one of the major advantages that Thetan Arena has is they came from a background where they were already building a game beforehand. So they brought in this very well made, polished game to the scene, and they're also way earlier. There's a lot of MOBAs that will be coming out later this year and earlier next year, but they're so early in the process that Thetan has a lot of time to continue to build their game to make sure that it's a very well done. Because I mean, the game is fantastic. If you're just talking about, I mean, forget about play to earn in general. This is a game that I would grind whether or not it had the play to earn and the crypto aspect. So having all of those things is really good, and I think that they're going to spend this year trying to figure out THC and the economy, because if they get the economy and the tokenomics down right, I feel like this game is just going to run away and be in the lead for a very long time in this space. So I'm super excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and also like what we talked about a bit like 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, we spoke about like the majority of crypto games are built around the tokenomics side, not the gameplay and the like the addictive element and the fun gameplay. They have been built in order for people to make money in the short run. And this is probably not very sustainable in the long run. And Thetan has a great game. And now the issue is to get the tokenomics right, because like this is probably not something that is very, they are a pioneer in this space, and they have combined free to play and play to earn. And being one of the earliest in this space is probably quite difficult to get right. But we have begun to see actions taken towards fixing the tokenomics. So going forward, I think this will be much better. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, being the first to market is always very difficult. We saw overnight Sky Mavis and Axie Infinity having to raise another 150 mil to cover obviously the recent Ronin hack as well. How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about the actual tokenomics of Thetan Arena and how they're going today?
I feel like it's tough, because I will say anybody that did go on early, if you went like super hard early on investing in heroes, you just got wrecked. I'll just be honest. You just early on, the characters were really expensive, and people were seeing all the potential to make money from these characters. But then as everything went down, whether it was the bear market or just the tokenomics, too much inflation, you're just going to be down bad character wise. I feel like THG, their governance token, I think is in a decent spot. And if it was at an all-time high before back then at $22 with no players and no use cases and things like that, I feel like as time goes on, we'll continue to see THG rise back up to the top, especially with the releasing of the staking program. And they have many use cases planned for both of the coins. So once those things get implemented, I think it's going to be strong. And seeing THG continue to find strength, even in a market, where we're at right now, I think is pretty promising. And they have a lot of money to burn for THC. I just think they're waiting for the perfect time to do that once they get all the tokenomics. And, they made changes like fixing up the marketplace and using THC instead of WBNB. And, these tournaments all have entry fees of THC, with their private sales, it's going to have some THC burn there too. I think they have, I think they have it down pat. We just have to wait here for a couple of months and see everything play out and see what the results actually are.
So completely agree, Atomic. Like in the beginning, there has been some troublesome start because it was not sorted out completely. You didn't have any use case for THC, which is the reward coin. It was basically just a dumping coin. So you purchased hero in BNB or in wrapped BNB, and then you received rewards in THC. So it was only sold until the marketplace changed their change to THC. So then you bought with THC, and then now you have a use case because prior to February, it was basically doomed. Like, I don't know if people did any research of this, but if you have a coin, a reward coin that is only dumped, the price will of course decline. So getting into this game in the beginning was very silly in terms of this. I don't know if people did research or researched this well enough before, but when I saw that THC was being used to purchase hero, that's when I got into the game.
And so what happened when Thetan Arena? I know that the core currency THG and there's THC as well. The THG is the governance token. THC
Mhm.
is the currency token. I know that there was a lot of sell pressure over the last 6 months or so. What actually happened?
The coin was just minted, and the people, of course, you like a lot of these games, they even say that you should take profit over time because the supply is increasing and the value of these coins is decreasing. So I think that people that got in, they had profit and they took it, they sold, and this pushed the prices down of THC. In addition, actually, the 30% of the marketplace fees, it goes to the team. So this means that also the team sold THC in the process in order to pay like salary, hire new people, and stuff like that, develop the game. So you had like a continuous sell pressure on THC without any use case of the reward coin. So then the price will decline. It's not magic.
It's
Yeah,
clear
and I
supply
think
demand,
yeah, just being early in the space was super exciting because I'm one of those people. I know people that bought in more than me, but I was definitely one of those people where it was like I was really focused on my YouTube channel. I wanted to just make sure I got heroes and did things correctly that way. But seeing, I mean, when you see that you could buy these heroes, let's say $600 back then for epic heroes, and you see the price of THC just really well, and if you're good at the game, you can make a lot of money. People like me, you just buy multiple heroes. You're like, okay, I'm really good at the game. I can get an 80-90% win rate, especially back then when things were pretty balanced. You could get an 80, 90, 95% win rate. I was playing with Yvonne. We were just like winning every game. So I was like, let's just get every hero or just get a whole bunch of heroes and just stack. And I feel like a lot of people who did that, like me, ended up selling at a loss. I'm already this far and I'm sticking it out for the long run. But so many people sold at a loss because when you just continuously see the chart going down, they started selling their heroes. They started selling all their THC and then exiting the game. Now, the one thing that's beautiful about a space like this is because Thetan Arena is actually a great game. If they were to fix the tokenomics, anybody that left will for sure come back, because when you talk about just the game in and of itself, I still think they're like a top runner game. It's just really high quality. So they get those things right. I think they win the audience back, and nobody's going to remember these first 2 to 3 months, 4 months that were difficult.
It feels quite interesting as well because of the fact that space moves so fast that what we're seeing is so many new games come to market. It used to be the fact that traditional Web2 companies were able to hold on to market share because the amount of new entrants is just much lower than it is in Web3 economies, where everyone forks anything and builds and adds another skin on top. And actually, I think the core thesis is that you need to be able to defend and iterate on the core game in order to maintain your actual audience, because if you're not able to improve at the pace that growth has come, you're lost because there's going to be other MOBAs. I mean, what are you two seeing nowadays, the MOBA scene, in terms of, I don't want to say competitors, but of the same genre, where people are saying like some players might be spending time elsewhere? Like, what are some of the other titles?
So there's 3 big titles that are coming out this year in the MOBA scene, and I personally love competition because I've played games in the past where the dev team may not necessarily be slacking, but when there's other games out there that are coming for you and really coming for all the players in the space, and they start to lock in and do things better as well. But Nova Battles is one of the games, League of Ancients, and Zuki MOBA. Those are the 3 that are going to be coming out this year. And they're pretty solid. I know Nova Battles is going to be I believe it's on the Ethereum blockchain, but they're doing a 1 token economy. So, Thetan is doing a 2 token. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of those actually are more successful on the tokenomics side of things. And League of Ancients, they have a very, very well done game based on the trailer and things like that. So when those start to fully release, I think they're going to have some good competition. But I also think that they know how early they are. So they still have, months to figure things out. And I think that they will get it figured out. And if they do, then I think people will probably play multiple MOBAs at the same time, just because why not? If Thetan Arena is really competitive and really stacked, maybe you go to like a game that might not be as big, but maybe you can win 95% of your games because you're better than everybody else in that game. So I think it'll be healthy for the entire space overall.
You just start farming all the different games. You start going to Thetan Arena, you're like, we're crushing all the kids here, and then we're going to go to another one, farm that game.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's true.
You're wild. Wild. Mike, what do you think?
I still find that the real competitors are not the other blockchain games. it's the traditional games, and more and more people are converging over to the blockchain with more ease of use, less time to set up, like MetaMask, and like even Thetan Arena. When you have like a game on the App Store, it's so accessible for people, and then they get a feel for the game, and it's not very difficult and easy to use. And then maybe they get introduced to the blockchain in a simple way through like easy accessibility like this. So I find that the real competitors are probably the already like traditional games all over the space.
What give the chat and the DAO some alpha. What are you guys currently doing in Thetan? You guys actively playing? You guys renting out your heroes? What heroes are you buying? Y'all staking? What's going on?
For me personally, I started out in the first like 3-4 months just playing the game 4 to 6 hours a day, just because I wanted to end the season at somewhere at the top of the leaderboard to say that I've at least done it. But ever since then, I've been doing it's been a lot of renting. So I have a decent amount of heroes, but I had like my original 6 to 12 heroes. I had THC games that I leveled up to like the max level to really just push those trophies with. And the rest of the heroes I bought were just for like buying sake, just for like future things. It's, staking, fusing, you need your heroes to be able to do that kind of thing. So because all my heroes are maxed out, and I personally think that one thing they could do a better job of is the seasonal rewards, because it takes you have to put in a decent amount of hours to end the season at the top of the leaderboard, all that to just get like a profile picture, like a banner or something that I just feel like it's not as rewarding.
It was really nice.
And then
it's really nice. It looks good, yeah. Hype it up.
Yeah, like let me get my non-NFT banner. But and then on top of that, they made some changes, which I think is good for the economy. Like I said, I'm always about the economy. As much as I enjoy being a competitor and being a competitive player, doesn't matter if the game's economy goes to trash. So one of the changes they made was, as your hero trophy level increases, you actually earn less trophies on the leaderboard. And the reason for that is they want to promote. So you got to choose. You want your skills to be very strong, but you gain trophies slower, or do you want to buy a new hero and gain trophies faster, which is really good because then more people are going to be buying THC heroes. But for someone that's not actively buying, trying to grind up ranked without that is tough, because you win 2 games, lose 1 game, but you're actually negative overall. So it's like really difficult to climb the leaderboard that way. So I've just been focusing on like renting and just learning more about the space as a whole as they continue to fix the metas and fix the gameplay and make things more balanced. And then once the economy goes back up, we'll probably turn up and get some more heroes and start pushing again.
Yeah, I started playing actually I got into, it's a funny story, I got into Thetan Arena through Atomic. Every Christmas I have this thing that I like to relax and chill a bit out, to get the power back. I find this game and I download the game and play with my family and friends during Christmas. And like by accident, my brother found Thetan Arena on the App Store. It was ranked like I think top 3, and then we started to play it, and it was really like interesting, competitive, and cool. So then we searched up on YouTube to get real tactics, and then we found Atomic's YouTube channel, and then we started to learn, and that's how I got into the game like first time. And since it's just cool, so I have to thank Atomic for making money in this game.
We have Alex and I have the same story, Atomic. We found Thetan Arena because of your content too. So this is hella funny. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're a magnet.
You are, dude. Atomic is a celebrity. What did y'all play? Like, it's funny, right? Like I think about NFT games and like Web3 games, and now I have to say, traditional games.
Traditional,
even though,
even
though like everyone's like, this is where all the world is, anyways. And so, what were y'all playing before like NFT? Well, I'm sure y'all playing stuff now, but like, what type of titles were y'all playing before?
I was getting into, I played a lot of the mainstreams, like super mainstream. I was playing some Fortnite, playing some Warzone. But then I was also playing some other smaller games on the phones, like Clash Royale, Clash Mini, a lot of those Supercell games. And Bullet Echo was the game where I found the guy that introduced me to Thetan Arena, where it's like it's like Brawl Stars almost, if you guys know what Brawl Stars is, but that's sort of the people that enjoy Brawl Stars, right? If they were to find a game like Thetan Arena, they'd love that because they'd feel like they have all these years of experience in a big Supercell title be able to bring that over to a game like Thetan Arena, and then learn more about the play to earn aspect. That's why I think when you compare traditional gaming with play to earn, I mean, if the onboarding process is easy and the tokenomics are solid, and you can really reward good players for being good at the game and winning money per game. I mean, it's like, if you can spend an hour in the evening, why would you play Brawl Stars, right, over Thetan Arena when you could earn some money doing so? So I was playing like, yeah, a lot of those mobile games, a lot of the mainstream PC games as well, but I've been focusing a lot on these play to earn games now.
Yeah, it's also as well, like because you need to understand the game in order to do good investments. So that was also something I focused on, like in Atomics videos, to just see which characters that were meta and which characters that I could rent out for more THC, so I can like adjust the prices I was willing to pay for these things, right? And this is like a really important concept to include when you're doing play to earn, because I think that once you master the marketplaces and then you understand which heroes are better than others, you can adjust your tactics and investment strategies as well. So just going back to like my journey, like from getting into it, now I own more than 450 heroes in the game. And I've done quite extensive research on how I should approach it as an investor. So I started just investing a tiny bit first, getting into like which characters were good, which did I like, and then just scaled in my investment. And this is an important concept to think of, like for all new people into investing. You should always scale in your investments into a project, because let's say if you just put all your cash in immediately and you have not done a lot of research, then you're very vulnerable if the tokenomics are wrong or you've made some mistakes. So you need to maybe put 10% of what you plan to invest into the game at first. Then you learn the marketplace, and then you get into the tokenomics, and then you understand things. And then you can scale in. Because if I, in January, February, when I really got into the game, if I had put all my money in at that time, I would have probably lost 60 to 70% of my investments. But since I've scaled in and also scaled up my investments, like my average price for THC is maybe around 1.8 cent, and now it's at 1.2. At launch, it was $1. So if I had gone like the crazy way, like Atomic did, but that was also for then
all in, baby.
Yeah. But it could be really good to go all in as well. Like, you never know, but you have to do research, and it's easier to do research when you're already involved financially in a project.
And especially for someone like Atomic as well, who plays at such a high level. I mean, it's almost self-fulfilling. Like, you have to invest more to be competitive and drive results as well. And so for those type of players, I mean, for me, esports is going to be massive. Like, this stuff is going to be like just absolutely insane as more play-to-earn games come. Chat was sort of talking about, does it seem like NFTs and blockchain tech actually influences gameplay? Like, do you think that like owning NFTs and having that part of the core gameplay experience, does that actually affect how esports is going to play out as well? I think that's an interesting thought.
It is very interesting, because so they've been doing these tournaments that they've been running with, and you have to have like a certain level. I'm genuinely curious, because I feel like, at least at an esport level, I feel like there should be a balanced entry. I feel like there should be, like, for example, you can level up your heroes in this game between level 1 and 10. But I feel like at an esports level, let's say every hero should be cut at the same level 5, because if you want to have real esports, real competitions, real global tournaments, then everybody should be at an even playing field. And I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do that, or if they're going to do that. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into, because right now, the way that tournaments are run, and I hope that this isn't going to be a forever thing. I know this is a learning process, but right now, the way tournaments are run is there's 5 different game modes in the game, and you can play up to 24 matches per game mode per day. So it's more so of a pay to win race. It's, if I own a backlog of 200 characters and I can play 200 games a day, and you can only play 40, there's literally no way for you to actually outplace me in this tournament. So I'm hoping they don't keep it that way, because they were talking pretty big about, potentially having $1 million tournament, but it wouldn't be that cool and it wouldn't be that engaging, especially for organizations. If it's just, I mean, to be fair, organizations have the money. So if they wanted to be at the top of that, they most definitely could. And I think that would be fine. And I think that actually does help the economy if they do it in that pay to earn aspect. And either way, orgs it might be fine, because orgs could cover the price for all of their, if they sign players, they can cover the prices for all their heroes. And then if you get this final global tournament, I think it could actually all play out well regardless. But I'm curious between whether or not they're going to make it balanced or just continue to do it the way they do it and then make more money, which, I mean, for the economy is pretty good too. So
I think also the fact that there are so many guilds and so many scholars, like esports should make really sense for like guilds to represent, the players represent guilds and the guilds win, and then it's marketing for them as well, right? So I think that's an important aspect as well. So it could really become like a big thing, esports in the space. Another thing that I find interesting as well is if you're a really good player and you win a tournament with an NFT, that NFT in the smart contract actually states that this NFT won the tournament, the global tournament of this competition, and that increases the value of that NFT token, because of course if it's like the best player in Fortnite won the global championship of Fortnite with that NFT, it would have a collectible value that was way higher than a regular NFT of the same kind.
Wow.
So this is all found in the blockchain data, right? So you can track which people own which NFTs and see the whole chain of transactions on that token.
It's like a match ball at the World Cup. Like, of course,
yeah.
like if you sold that, I mean that was kicked at the World Cup, man. And that's a different.
Yeah,
that's different.
You could have the shirt of Ronaldo playing the World Cup. It would be like, of course, this has so much value, and it would probably over time, given that the gaming industry is so popular and big, this will probably become a thing in terms of collectibles as well, I believe.
That's awesome. I'm actually, that I think actually brings an incredibly different element in terms of how, because we talk about gaming NFTs as the characters and items that you use, but this is a core use case of an NFT, which is collectibles and unique value.
Yeah.
And so how does that accrue as well? That's awesome. Yeah. And actually just shifting the topic back to esports as well. Atomic, I'm curious on, you're a good player, decent player. How do you think about meta? How do you think about like champions and team comp and game modes as well? Because obviously there's players coming in and they're trying to wrap their head around where they should be spending their time. How do you think about where you spend your time in the game?
I think I was very impressed, because when I first got into this game, I was always like, first of all, it is a very good game, but also I didn't expect them to make as many balance changes and updates as they do. They're actually balancing their game every single month. So when you look at it from that standpoint, so for competitive anyways, it's going to be the 4v4 game mode. If you're looking to become an esport player in this game, it's either going to be the tower defense, the team deathmatch, or the superstar. Battle Royale is really fun, but I think that's just going to be a casual, just rank up, have fun, because you can't really use that for competitive. So focus on the 4v4s. I think with the metas, they've done a good job balancing. The only thing that's sticking out like a sore thumb is El Dragon, because she's just, I mean, they've nerfed her 2 times in a row, still nothing. They nerfed Duras, this most previous one, for the 3rd time in a row, and they left her alone. So I'm scared that they think she's balanced. I hope they don't think she's balanced. I think, but besides that, if they just tone her down a little bit, she needs to rework on her ultimate. The game is very, very balanced. So I think it comes down to understanding which heroes are the best in the current meta. So we have the tanks, the assassins, and the marksmen. And there are commons, epics, and legendaries as well. If you're going to be a competitive player, just forget about the commons for the most part. There's a couple of marksman commons like the cluster and Big Papa that might be able to hang. But outside of that, the epics are the strongest heroes in the game. They just bring so much versatility with damage and utility. So characters like El Dragon, Ray, Duras, those are some of the core characters in the game, along with Lucy. And then you need like a frontline tank. You have the Mako and the Conky. That'll be pretty good for the legendaries as well. Legendaries offer a lot of utility, and I think that some of the best professional teams in the world will have a combination of both legendary and the epics, because the legendary set up really nice plays and the epics are there to finish it off. So overall, they've got a very balanced game. Just focus on those heroes right there and understand the skills, because there are a couple of skills that need to be turned down a lot, in my opinion. I think some of the best damaging skills are the laser and the rocket. They've got really good crowd control with, you know, bullet volley and plunger, and black hole, and then mobility for like burrow and ghost fade. But when I look at, I mean, once again, if competitive is going to be the 4v4, but at least for battle royale, a lot of the players, I would say 90% plus of the players that are going to be playing in the economy for this whole play to earn aspect will be playing battle royale, because it's going to be very hard in this game once you get past like bronze. If you're solo queuing into a 4v4, if anybody is like bronze or higher, they're usually pretty serious and they're going to be queuing up with 4 of their friends, and you'll lose a lot. So that's why for the play to earn aspect, battle royale is very important. So I think they do need to tone down plunger, because right now there's no counterplay to plunger. They hit you with a 0.5 second stun. You can't move, and now you're in an L Dragon ring. Can't do anything. Can't use an ability. You're just dead. Instant dead every single time. And then goes fade and bullet volley. So I've had ideas about how they can balance it. So I continue to make videos on those things. But for the most part, they're doing a very good job. I've never seen, I did not expect a game in this space to do this many balance changes and to listen to the community, because they do community polls all the time about which characters are busted. They answer the polls, and the next month you see the changes for those specific characters. So honestly, job well done on that aspect.
Yeah. And also, like, in terms of the why Duras and El Dragon is probably like considered the best as well, like in team modes. I've been playing most team modes like for the last months. I actually, Atomic said I had to get to silver before he wanted to play with me. So. No, I'm just kidding. Still...
not my words.
And I've seen like these 2 characters, they can carry. So if you queue in solo in a team mode, if there is a Duras or a El Dragon, they can probably carry a lot of the weight in the game, so it can tilt it in your favor. Even though if you have like a good team comp with the like marksman tanks and you play well as a team, you don't need El Dragon or Duras. But if you queue alone, you probably would need a Duras or El Dragon to take some carry in the teams, or to win the game. That's my take, at least. I've been queuing a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Duras and El Dragon are hyper carries. El Dragon does it all from damage to her ring. She can use for zoning and keeping people away from the objective and just really shutting down their entire ultimate. And then the reason why they continue to nerf Duras is he has the ability to shoot from a marksman range with his auto attacks and do poison damage over time, as well as burst down with his ultimate. So those epic heroes are just very, very strong hyper carries that if you're playing as a solo player and you do want to solo queue into these 4v4s, then you want to buy those 3 heroes, because those 3 heroes are also the best heroes in battle royale. So you get the, you know, bang for your buck. You can play both and play all game modes and do extremely well with those epic heroes.
We also saw that staking came live over the last week or so. I know, Michael, you've been talking a lot about staking in the EmergentDAO Discord. Give us your view on the release so far. Good, bad, happy? Yeah, go.
Yeah, so Thetan has set aside 88 million tokens for staking rewards. Like they have 420 million tokens in total, and 88 million of those are set aside for that. And this is the first like staking program that the game has launched, and probably it will give out maybe 10 to 15 million tokens, I would assume, in this staking program for the next 12 months or so. And so this means that there is a lot of tokens available further after this program, 70 million or so. So there will definitely be future opportunities for staking as well. And of course, like me and Atomic has discussed, like to restake and continue staking to compound the rewards and do this, and that's probably the best strategy going forward. But the staking program consists of 2 strategies. So you have like a flexible stake where there is no time limit or no lock, and there are no special requirements in this flexible stake program. And the APR sits at around 70%. at this point. It will probably come down. I think it's 60% or 40% as a minimum APR. 40%, I think. So once more of the pool will be filled, the APR will probably come down to around 40% in the flexible stake. But actually, the flexible stake has been temporarily closed to prevent whales of entering the big chunks. Probably they should have done a bit, and we can come back to this, but the communication part of the team has not been really good, like prior to, let's say, 2 weeks ago. They have started to get a bit better now, but up until 2 weeks ago, the communication side has been quite poor, and the transparency has not been there. So they should probably just have stated that we want more people to opt for the other staking program instead of the flexible staking program, and say that until we get like 2 million tokens or 3 million tokens in the staking pool, then we could open the flexible staking pool. So there are 5 million tokens in this program, and now I think 2 million of those tokens are filled. So the other staking option is much more interesting because you get a lot higher yield. So that's when you stake a hero along with 100 THG in a pair, and then you can choose whether to stake it for 6 months or 12 months. And this is much more beneficial for both the game and also the investors, because you get higher yields, and you also get private tickets, which is a really cool concept. We can come back to that. It is beneficial for the game because 20% of the fees from these private sales will be charged in THC. So this is a really good burning mechanism for THC, in my opinion, going forward. And I think this will help boost the THC price along with some of the other features that they have implemented now. So a minimum APR of 120% is quite attractive, I would say. And that's for the 12-month lock, and 80% for the 6-month lock. So awesome. I think it's a good staking program, and I know both me and Atomic has taken part of it, and we will probably restake and compound our rewards going forward.
How are you playing this, Atomic?
Yeah, I went with a 50-50 split just because I didn't know when fusing is going to come, and I didn't know if I would have enough funds to move in to get some THG out. So if it were to come in like 6 months, then I'd rather half my characters fall out and then I have the THG ready, and if fusion comes out, I can utilize it. If not, then I just continue to go back and restake. So as I was in the conversion program, so as my conversion program continues to, spill out the rewards every single day, I'll continue to restake, because I have a lot of heroes that I bought at the floor level just for this specific program. So every time they come out, I'll just go back in, continue to restake the heroes. I think it's very good for everybody involved, win-win situation. And if you're playing the game and you have heroes, it's something you should definitely be taking a part of, in my opinion.
What's the thing you touched upon there? Or sorry.
No, you go.
Now the thing you touched upon there, like the floor price of NFTs, it's quite interesting, because the community has asked for a long time about what am I supposed to do with the heroes that are maxed out, no battles left. There has been no use case for these. So I checked, I think it was a week ago, there were 270 pages of maxed out common heroes for the floor price of 200 THC. So 270 pages were like 1.5k heroes. So that's around 5% of the total, 0.5% of the total minted heroes. And now it's only like 20 pages. So this means that 250 of these like maxed out common heroes for 200 THC has been bought and staked, and these heroes will be burned. So this is a good thing for the economy, because you need to have a use case for the maxed out the heroes. Staking will be one, and they have been talking about fusion as well. I don't know when it will come, but probably it will be really good, hopefully.
Do you guys think the actual use cases that they've been introducing, you were talking about the private ticket investment rounds. I mean, this is part of a larger trend that we see across venture investing as well, where a lot of people obviously love games. They want to get in early on the actual deals to obviously fund the games as well. What you find is that players who invest in games are the ones actually playing in it. And so it's actually probably good for the ecosystem for them to be able to have early rounds as well. And so actually, what are they doing with the private sale tickets? And then, what do you guys think about that whole use case?
So each
go ahead.
Oh, you can.
No, you got it. You're professional. You're a professional on this part. Go ahead.
So each staker receives private tickets over time, and the more you stake, the more private tickets you receive.
And by private tickets, just for every the actual audience, what do you mean by private tickets?
So it's like if you have one private ticket, then you have the option to buy $5 of a project that they have as a partner project. So it's not like a monetary thing. It's more like you need access to these private tickets, and you need dollars or BUSD, and then you can participate in these private sales. If you get, so the thing is that the maximum you need is 250 USD is the maximum amount you can invest in one of these partner projects. And in order to do that, you need 50 tickets, 55 tickets.
It's funny. I know that this is some alpha. I co-founded Balthazar, and so we actually had them invest in a private round. And I think what I think they're doing is they invest, they get the allocation, and then they redistribute to the community as well.
Yeah.
And I think the actual crowd, it's all like crowdfunding, right? It's like community, here is the allocation that we secured for you. Go out, obviously stake your tokens, and then get access to this as well. It's kind of genius. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's like a VC, or you get access to this early, and you distribute it out to the. So it's like a benefit for staking, and you get benefit for participating in these things. And what you say, like Salad Ventures has already raised 13.5 million, and that's part of the partner sale. So Thetan has already been part of this funding round, and then they allow, I think it was 100,000 USD in this project, and you get like an allocation. So it will be competition, and you have to be early, I think, in this, because it's only 100,000 USD.
So, what do you feel about? How do you feel about all the use cases so far, Tomek, as well, especially this private sale ticket side? Is this something that you think investors are going to be interested in?
I most definitely do, because usually in this space, getting into any of these, private sales or getting into anything early is obviously very beneficial for you as an individual. So if you're already playing a game really hard and you're into it and you're investing all of this money, to be able to have the opportunity to then use the same game and connections to join with a company that's partnering with Thetan, which if Thetan's partnering with them, it's probably like reputable, a very good company, and things will come out well from that end of things. And it almost seems like a safe bet as well for your private allocations. And based on what they said, they're going to have, a few of these projects every single month as well. So even though each individual project will be competition, I think, especially if the first project or the first ones that they go into, if everybody sees that it all does really well, it's going to be really good for Thetan Arena in general, because a lot of people are going to not only want to partner with Thetan, but the people that are already participating in this economy, if they see people doing extremely well in these private sales, are going to want to buy more THG and buy more heroes and just continue to participate in the economy and participate in staking so they can get that extra value. So I think brilliant move on their part, honestly, for the use case.
Awesome. I think we're going to be coming up to almost the end of the stream. If there's any more questions in our chat today, I wanted to actually ask you guys, who wins in play-to-earn gaming? Because I think let's look forward into the future. Out of all these titles that you're seeing today, which ones are getting you excited? What do you guys actually think is going to capture the imagination of Web3 gamers as well? And hopefully by that point, traditional gamers. And so you look forward, what do you guys think happens in the future? Is it going to be NFTs, or do you think it'll be traditional gaming? as we were talking about before?
I think there's a lot of different factors, but I think NFTs do have the edge because of there's a lot of things that traditional gaming doesn't have, and traditional gaming has been around for a very long time. So with the opportunity to not only make money from the game or to play in a play to earn game that's really good as well, but to also learn about how to invest and set yourself up in the future for financial freedom, I feel like is a very big picture thing. If you learn more about investments, you learn about, because me personally, I didn't know a thing about investing. Like I'm talking about traditional stocks, mutual funds, crypto. I knew nothing about any of it, but it's because of the gaming that has really changed my outlook on life in general and how I want to allocate my money. And then being able to invest and play with your investments, I think is a really, really cool and unique thing. So I think it's really going to depend on the onboarding process being simple and easy, companies being transparent with everything that's going on, and then releasing good games as well. I almost feel like a lot of these games don't even need to reinvent the wheel necessarily, but if you can make a game that's as high quality, like the first couple of games that are good for each genre, like for FPS, for MOBAs, for Minecraft style games, MMORPGs, the first ones for each of those are going to do extremely well. And I feel like it's going to capture a mainstream. It's just going to go mainstream here in a few years, especially with AAA companies starting to move in. And I mean, money talks at the end of the day. So if you're starting to see all these news and all these articles of these games exploding and people making a lot of money and things going really well in the ecosystems, then people are going to ask questions. They're going to flood in. And I feel like Web3 will be the dominant factor moving forward in the next 5 years.
Web3 wins, huh? Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of the same aspects as Atomic mentioned, because I don't think that we will see like mainstream adoption before some of these big brands enter the space. Let's say you had like Fortnite with NFTs, that would be huge, and they already have a large user base, and it would be much more simple for them to simplify the transition to blockchain, because now it's very splitted. Like you have these crypto games that has the focus on tokenomics, and then you have these games that focus, or the traditional games that focus on gameplay and user experience and all these things. But these will probably melt together, in my opinion. Like these two diverse or splitted genres will probably converge, and the traditional games, they're not sitting on the sidelines. They are watching every move that all these crypto games are making, and probably they will wait until they find a tokenomic model that is sustainable, and then they will push all in to develop it. And if they're first, they have a first mover advantage, and it's really difficult for them for other games then to copy it. So like Atomic, I believe that you will see incorporation of NFTs into traditional gaming as well. Like you have all these, it's very common for people to spend money in all these games, digital currency, but then the players are not able to transact with these other than like in gray markets selling their accounts. So this just removes the friction of these things. And of course, I would be very surprised if we don't see in the next 3 to 5 years like a major game studio enter the blockchain space with a AAA game.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think there's just across the board, what we realize is traditional games they don't need to actually have NFTs, because for them, they print already. Like Fortnite prints. These games print, like Call of Duty, all of them, they're fine. And so when we think about corporate strategy as well, the actual incumbents always get left behind because other game studios out innovate and other companies out innovate because they are just much more aware of where the world is going. When these incumbents have so much money to hold on and they print already, they don't need to adopt change. And actually it's probably more risky when Fortnite has to introduce some type of token, and then little Timmy who plays Fortnite has to go tell his mom that can you buy me some of this epic game token? And so can you imagine that? I don't know. Yeah, so
probably for I think that it will more likely be for the adult audience still, because kids cannot like go, a 10-year-old cannot go and invest and I think you have to be over 18 years anyways, right, to buy crypto on exchanges and things like that.
I actually have no idea.
So
Do you? I guess you have.
That's
sure.
a good question. I think so. Yeah. I
I
think
think you have to. Yeah, interesting.
So there's probably a barrier there if, for example, Fortnite would do it, because they would lose a ton of their players if they can't enable it for them. So yeah, it's interesting.
It is for sure. I feel like I mean, I think that these games, even if they don't, I don't think that they'll convert their current game, because like you said, the risk is very big. But it was interesting because one of the head workers at Supercell was talking about it. People were starting to ask them a lot of questions when Thetan Arena was originally exploding, and they said that they were looking at building something crypto related, but they said it wouldn't be in any of their current games, and that they would build a game up from scratch, which I feel like even if they did that, it's fine, because Supercell is Supercell, right? If they make any game they want to make, it's going to have a lot of traction. It's going to have a lot of people looking at it, and they know that. So once they do find, like Michael was saying, the sustainable tokenomics for that, building the game, they've got that down. Supercell knows how to build very good games, and all these AAA studios know how to build very good games. So it's going to be a race. It's going to be very interesting to see once those games move in, because they will be fantastic games. And if they have the tokenomics as well, I mean, they're going to take over the market space for sure.
You know what I'm realizing? The amount of game studios who are traditional game studios getting acquisition offers nowadays is incredible. Like, what people want to do is get these game developers and then say, have you guys thought about tokenomics? Let's get a token around here. This game sucks, but let's get a token around here and we'll see what happens. The amount of buyouts that I'm missing, actually in Australia, Animoca picked up 2 game. I'm not saying that they were bad game studios. I'm just saying that Animoca picked up 2 game studios over the last 2 years. One of them created Phantom Galaxies. And so that was an acquisition. And Animoca bought them out, are obviously introducing a new token. And they were like, man, you guys, it's actually really interesting, because indie game developers, what we're realizing with Web3 gaming is a lot of people think NFTs are a consumer experience change, where digital ownership is a key driver for why consumers would adopt NFT gaming. Absolutely true. For me, it's an incremental difference though. For the indie game developer, instead of having to go fundraise from Activision or someone like Epic Games, they can build a community, ship NFTs directly to them, raise millions of dollars, and then off to the races. Like, that is incredible. Like, that's going to bring in a whole generation of, this is, in my opinion, gaming renaissance. I mean, that's why we started Emergent as well, because we were like, man, there's going to be more and more games coming to market, and players need to see and be able to find all these freaking crazy games. So it's wild. It's a wild time.
What I'm very excited for as well is that, like, up until maybe 2018, 2019, you haven't seen a lot of use cases for these cryptocurrencies, like the Bitcoins, Ethereum, Bitcoin. It has mainly been like a store of value, a medium of exchange, and like a speculation object, but it has had no real utility. Of course, the pizza for 100 Bitcoin was quite like a good utility.
How much regret do you think that person has? Can you imagine looking back? How many Bitcoin was that pizza? It's like 20 Bitcoin or something. 100 Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
It was 100,
yeah. So you had some utility early on, though.
Shit.
Like, once you see like these games, I find that gaming is maybe the best way to introduce these cryptocurrencies to like the mainstream. Like, if you rewind like 20 years ago, there were about 30 million people on the internet. It was really early on, and like, nobody had a real use case other than like some people ordered some stuff online, but it was so early. Like, in this space, like in the blockchain or cryptocurrency space, we are exactly at the same place. It's around 30 million, 35, give or take, people that are involved. And look what happened to the internet. And this is a new, this will probably be like a 2-3 billion people owning these things, because a lot of these use cases digitally will have to rely on using cryptocurrencies. So if you're early on and you're part of the early adopters, you'll probably be very well off if you do. No financial advice, but yeah, it's probably smart.
One of my buddies said to me, Jack, you have to check out this project. It's not financial advice, but you're going to make a lot of money. Doesn't make any sense. It's not financial advice, but you will make 1,000% returns. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got rugged. It's okay. It's okay. He deserved it.
And another point on like we spoke about those private tickets. It's a good way for people to like get early exposure to a lot of these projects, like Baltasar and all these other partners. And like if you get in early on, like let's say 50 or 100 projects, it's like how a venture capitalist firm works, right? You can have 100x and it pays for all the 99 others that go to zero. And that's very unlikely in this space, especially if the demand for cryptocurrencies and Ethereum and blockchain will rise as the mainstream comes into the game. Then it will probably be worth more, and these smaller coins will go even further up when the crypto space increases. So the tide lifts all boats, and the smaller boats they go higher than the bigger boats. So it's probably a good way for people to like put 100, 200 USD into a project and then have 50 of those, and then one of them, or maybe 5 or 10x's, and then you make money. That's my take and how I will play those private sales, because I would never have gotten access to these projects alone. I can do it now with the private sales. So
that's actually one of the theses that we have for Emergent as well. I mean, obviously we launched this project 2 weeks ago. And so one of the key things that I think makes a lot of sense is what do games need nowadays? It is players, it is investors, and it is community for them to actually be able to work with. And so from that perspective, like all of these, sorry, not community, capital, obviously, it's players and capital is actually the core drivers. And so from that perspective, if you can create enough, the hard part is that as an individual, you don't mean anything. But if you have another 100,000 people with you as a community, it becomes a great driver for results for the actual game themselves. Instead of working with one VC, you work with a community which already evangelizes your game and loves your game, in which case they're probably going to hold, they're probably going to drive up MAUs, and they're probably going to be investing more and have higher LTV and be a community member, in which case, why would you not do that? And so I think that's what we're realizing is going to really be how, and it's so Web3, like being community first is very Web3. And so from that perspective, just makes a whole bunch of sense. Yeah.
And if you're invested, you are also talking positively towards your friends and maybe your family, and then the scale kicks. So word of mouth, you talk positive of the project to 20 or 30 people, then it kicks off. This you will never get in a VC funding. They're only like a financial investor. So
yeah, and really they have to and I was a VC, so this is like what happens is VCs raise millions of dollars and have to over time return that money back to the investors that they raise the money from, in which case there is always an incentive to sell and recoup that money for the actual investors that you borrowed from, in which case the games. And for me as well, I mean, I helped start a guild, and guilds obviously today, there's been a lot of pushback towards because they take money out of an ecosystem, but they operate like a VC. They raise money from investors, and they have to actually be able to show a return to their investors, in which case it's about managing your book. And so games, they can never be a long-term partner because everyone needs to watch out for their own positions. But a player, if they love a game, they probably want to stay in the game. In which case, I think that's like a player like Atomic loves the game, wants to play all the time. Let him keep playing and let him be incentivized to own. I think we would all love that ecosystem as well. So Chad also asks for any engineers, devs who might be thinking about NFTs. Do you guys think that it's just a gold rush day and everyone should just ship a game and just get in early and be part of it? Or is it, a more long-term play here that they should be getting involved in?
I would say fast is good, but don't sacrifice quality for speed. Because doesn't matter if you get in first, if the foundation of your game isn't good, then as the space continues to develop, you'll just get crushed by the other games and the other competition. So try to move fast if you can, but make sure that the quality of the game is up there so that you can actually build a community and build a good game on top of it.
I would also say that if you're very involved in a game that is not well done right now, you should probably think about the next 1 to 2 to 3 years about all the potential new games that are coming with a great like gameplay, and also have the tokenomic figure out. Because for me, like seeing a lot of these games online and content creator pushing these strange games, I find that maybe 80 to 90% of these games will disappear over the next 3 to 5 years. That's my take, because they're not fun, they're not addictive, and they're basically focused on making money in the short run, and they're not sustainable. So when you're investing in projects now, don't only look at maybe the short-term gains, because then you have to sell quickly to take profits. Like I heard the CEO or some of the game Pegaxi, and their like reward coin has declined like a lot, and he even stated that people should take profits over like in the short run, because we don't know like how the tokenomics will, if it's sustainable or not. So he actually went out and said that they should take profits or in the short run. But that's my take. Like you have to really think about the project, think about the outlook, think about the competition. How is the market cap now? And then look at the market cap in relation to other projects. Is it like when I look at Thetan now, it has a market cap that is a lot lower than, for example, Illuvium, like $5 billion USD for the fully diluted market cap or 6, I think, for Illuvium, 450 or 400 for Thetan. It's a 12x, 13x market cap. So when you also consider these things, even though, like, of course, I would say that Illuvium is maybe a better game, has better tokenomics, but if you're paying 12 to 15 times as much for Illuvium compared to Thetan, I would say maybe Thetan is the better choice in a risk-reward perspective. So you also have to think about these things when you're investing in projects, because if you're not, then you probably are in deep grounds. So
awesome. No, this has been a really great discussion. I want to thank Michael and Atomic for joining us today. Thank you also to Atomic for hosting us on his YouTube channel. Make sure to follow him, subscribe to his YouTube, and also follow him at Atomic Plays on Twitter. And for more discussions on your favorite games, EmergentDAO, we're trying to create the largest community of NFT gaming investors out here. And so make sure to check out our Twitter. You need to actually apply to get Discord access. And so take a look through our Twitter and join the community. We're looking to really help build the future of Web3 and have conversations like this. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Great conversation.
It was a pleasure.